everyone, New Buster Green here. Please subscribe. Welcome back to my Getter Robo Arc Watchdown reaction series. We're rolling right into episode 4 because episode 3 ended with Takuma being so hardcore, fucking furious, trying to kill the man who killed his mother. It was hard to make this dude out because his body was made of flies, but in this episode we get a better look at him and it definitely is the same dude who was at the dojo. I thought before he had aged up into that Dr. Hell looking dude, but actually he's working under the Dr. Hell looking dude and he hasn't aged at all. So good for him, I guess. Anyway, he name drops at this point that his name is McDonald. And he says it in the same corny way that most Japanese people overly pronounce McDonald's, which amuses me slightly, but for unrelated reasons. Anyway, so the episode starts off with the Andromeda Conflagration chewing out McDonald for not killing Takuma as a child. And McDonald is like, hey, calm down now. It's going to be easy to kill him, since we're now in a direct conflict with him. So then we back up to the Getter team. They're still angry about what just went down, but they're calming down. And the scientists are meanwhile trying to figure out if the insectors are from deep space or another dimension. Hayato starts working on this, and he ends up working on this for the whole episode. Some time passes into the night where there's some security guards saying that the Saltman lab is haunted, and that on a night like tonight, the ghosts come out. Immediately after say this, they start seeing ghosts. The first ghost they see is King Ghoul from the original Getter Robo, and they lose their shit. Meanwhile, Takuma is in his room. He's still pissed and he's agitated that he learned the name of the man who killed his mother after 10 years. And then he sees a ghost of the nice Dr. Saltman from the original Getter Robo. You know, guys, I'm a huge fan of Armageddon, so seeing the nice Dr. Saltman really makes me laugh because he just looks like freaking Super Mario. And it's just such a drastic difference from the Armageddon version, who was probably pissing in a jar, not bathing. Anyway, so then we get some backstory on Kamui, and we get that he's a dinosaur person from the seemingly peaceful version of the Dinosaur Empire. And when he was 7 or 10, I guess Hayato adopted him. It's a vague flashback, but it's context. Meanwhile, Hayato is still trying to figure out where the freaking insectors are coming from. And he starts regretting that Dr. Saltman is dead because Dr. Saltman would probably know what to do. So meanwhile at that time, the ghost of Dr. Saltman is on the roof of the Getter lab being completely insane. So I guess he's an all Super Mario. Anyway, so then they go back to that D2 pilot from the last episode who exploded fighting the Kabuki Man. And there was a useless flashback to that too, for the hell of it, because they love flashbacks. Now at first I thought this guy was a ghost, but it looks like either the Kabuki Man stabbed him with a razor-thin needle that just went straight through him, and that really fucked him up on a personal level because he was impaled. Or additionally, it's possible that the needle put something into him. Anyway, then they go back to Kamui running into the ghosts of King Ghoul, and oh fuck, they actually did put something into him. A few seconds later, the D2 pilot goes full chest booster from aliens, and then Baku sees the ghosts of his brother, the Messiah. But then he realizes that the ghost isn't actually his brother, which is a mysterious plot twist that they don't really explain. Anyway, so the giant bug that bursted out of the D2 pilot crawls up the building, but then you never see it again. Meanwhile, the ghosts take all the ARC pilots into an abandoned wing of the old Getter Ray laboratory. Kamui says that the ghosts are lost souls, and then after that, the ghosts go into this clearly radioactive, toxic waste infected Getter Ray hazard covered area of the lab. The Getter Rays here have crystallized, which is a pretty interesting twist. Kamui points out that various parts of the laboratory have been annexed and abandoned due to past times when the lab was directly attacked. The ARC team goes into the abandoned part of the lab, and instantly now they're in a direct flashback to 19 years ago when the lab was pristine, any test was being run on the Getter Dragon, making it the first official proper appearance of the Getter Dragon in the series. Now, it looks like they were trying to do a jump start on Shin Getter using the Getter Dragon's engine. I really hate it when that happens. That happens to me every winter. Anyway, so the lab is attacked and Dr. Saltman launches the Getter team into Shin Getter. When Shin Getter launches, Eats plays, which is a really nice touch. The pilots are Ryoma, Hayato, and some noob named Igyari. Apparently, Benkei is rocking a broken leg, so he can't pilot. Anyway, so then Shin Getter encounters some of the first insectors ever. And the insector bug ship is like, this planet is ruled by primates. How disgusting. And then it just starts shitting bugs everywhere. 20-foot bugs pop in all over the lab, start immediately killing everyone in sight. Shin Getter shotguns it in the face, but then it transforms into a faster, more humanoid battle form. Igari isn't doing so hot since this is his first battle, but the Insector is easily defeated by Shin Getter, who shotguns him in the face. The Insector vows to return 1,000,000 times as necessary to destroy the Getter rays and keep humanity out of space. Benkei hops into the Shin Dragon, which is still locked in the lab, and he fires off the Getter Beam, which kills a bunch of giant bugs in the lab. But everyone knows doing this is going to get him killed. So the episode ends again with Takuma screaming. This time he's screaming, "Stop it," because no one wants Benkei to die. Alright, so that was an episode. Now, it was definitely more subdued than episode 3. It still had a lot of hardcore action and some great drama, but the action was a lot more subdued than episode 3, and honestly, considering this episode was like playing with flashbacks so much, part of me borderline starts to wish that the show would just show these events chronologically. Like, they've had flashbacks in every single episode up to this one, but in this episode, they just went flashback crazy. Like, they straight up go inside of flashbacks with ghosts. And I don't know, that's a little bit hokey to me because, like, in the previous episodes, the characters were just like, "This happened and it was the worst thing I ever saw." In fact, we do get a normal flashback with Kamui flashing back to his childhood in the Dinosaur Empire. So yeah, this episode kind of drowns on the flashbacks. Now, I'm going to give this episode 4 points. 1 for the Getter Dragon having its first proper appearance and doing some hardcore shit, even though it's locked into the garage and it doesn't even go outside. Another episode for Dr. Saltman being a weird twist to Super Mario and its insane version from Armageddon. King Gore getting a cameo, that gets a point even though he didn't really do anything outside of that. Nah, he wasn't even in that flashback, so yeah. That's just fan service right there. And last point for Benkei showing up. I hope Benkei doesn't die, but he might totally die because the third pilot of the Getter usually dies, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, this episode, solid 4 points. Now, I didn't want to give it 5 because it was a step down from the insanity hardcoreness of episode 3. But overall, this was a solid episode, mostly focused on world building despite doing that with way too many flashbacks. Now, the one cool thing that was not a flashback was that weird chest burster homage to Alien scene. But as cool as that scene was, it was a little bit tad subdued and confusing. In fact, the first time I watched it, I didn't even understand it because it was executed so badly. I originally thought that maybe the D2 pilot was the ghost of the pilot who exploded, and this was his ghost going back to sleep in his own bed after the night he died or something. But nah, apparently he was just needled and impregnated because because this was just some straight up H.R. Geiger body horror going on, and that's all well and good in sci-fi. Anyway, so yeah, that's episode 4. Not the best episode, but not the worst either, and it's still moving with the momentum that they build up in episode 3, so I'm liking that. I'm hoping in the next episode they tell us what happened to Benkei. Otherwise, we might just go back to the present events with that fucking chest burster running around. So, we'll see. All in all, good episode. Alright, tune in next week, guys. Good luck!